Hi, I'm Nikki Wyatt, the Karma Coach, and this is a video about my services, and I hope you find something here that resonates for you. I specialize in using essences, which can come from gems, crystals, flowers, animals, birds, butterflies, anything in nature. I'm a firm believer that we come from nature and that nature has the answers and solutions to pretty much anything we want to resolve. And the first set of essences I want to talk about are probably the most well known, and they're the Bach flower remedies. Dr. Edward Bach discovered these in the 1930s, and he began with a set of 12, and 12, he called them the 12 healers. And these actually are relevant and resonate with the different planets in the zodiac. So if you've signed up to my newsletter, you'll find you've got a free soul flower reading, and that will be based on your sun sign that relates to a particular Bach flower. You can obviously use far more than just the one that resonates for your own sun sign. There are 38 in total. Dr. Bart went on to discover another, the 26. They're extremely comprehensive. They cover pretty much any mental or emotional state that you could be in, and they help tremendously with getting through the day in a reasonably calm and stable state of mind. They're great for using at any period of change. If you're going through a midlife crisis or a relationship breakup, or you're moving house, or you've been made redundant, or something's happened that's really created a lot of change for you. And you need some support, some emotional support. It's what I call an emotional first aid kit. So the Bach flower remedies are a great place to begin if you haven't ever tried remedies before. You can either choose your own blend, and I'll put a link below to Crystal Herbs, which allows you to do that. You can choose them either through using your gut instinct in whatever way you prefer. So perhaps you douse, perhaps you use a pendulum, perhaps you read the description and just feel if the energy is strengthening or weakening you. It's up to you how you choose. If you like some support choosing the remedies for you, then I offer Bach flower consultations, which are relatively brief and will just help you to put together something that will support you best in the moment. And the next set of essences that I offer are what I would describe more as deep acting essences. So they work more with karmic patterns, long held ingrained habits that are not helpful for you, intergenerational trauma, that sort of level of work. And you're looking at this point, unlike the bark remedies where you're able to know and be aware of the emotions that you want to shift. With the deep acting essences, they're working more at a soul level and at a cellular level and in the unconscious. So they're often working with patterns you may not even be aware of. I have put together blends in 4 different ranges on my website. You'll find karmic essences, and they cover most of the important karmic patterns that we've come into work with. So that might be forgiveness or guilt or fear or loneliness. The second range I have is planetary essences, and they work with the 12 planets of the zodiac. Uh, you can either choose one that reflects your sun sign, or if you know you're going through a Saturn return, or you're being very affected by the lunar phases, you could choose the moon essence. It's up to you how you work with them. Each planet has its own journey, and I'll talk more about that in a separate video. The third range that I have are chakra essences, and that takes you through all the different energy centers and all their different messages. So if you know that you are working with something that's very much about your solar plexus or your brow chakra, for example, that might be something to look at. And the fourth one, and by far the largest range, are my transformation essences. And these are essences blends I put together as I went through my own life and hit different challenges. And they seem to be, since everyone's everyone and we're all part of a universal consciousness, you'll find something there, I'm sure, that will help you in whatever you're struggling with at the moment. So those are the 2 types of essences that are on offer. And the other service I offer is attunements. It might help for some people if you reframe that as readings, essence readings, sometimes helps people understand better what they are. Um, that will be when I sit down and I tune in and find out what are the most resonant 5 or 6 essences for you at the moment, right now. And you'll get a description of those on email. And that will also come to you via either a bottle or which is made up specially for you, or a an energy transmission. And the difference between those 2 modes of delivery is explained on the website, and I might go into that in more detail in another video. Um, those attunements are descriptions of what each essence treats, and therefore it'll give you an idea of what's really going on for you at the moment at a more soul level, at a more karmic level. And if 4 or 5 feel a bit overwhelming, there's also a service called a personal essence message bundle. And that is just the one essence, just one that particularly speaks to you at the moment. The message of that particular essence will then be emailed to you, along with a personal affirmation and a transmission of the essence to you. So those are the main attunements that I do. There is a further one, which is called deluxe attunement, and that I don't do very many of. They're quite limited because they take a long time, but they include both all the essences that are resonant for you at the moment, 5 or 6 of them, and totem animal and your main angelic connection at the moment, a personal affirmation, and it'll have some ideas on books you might want to read, activities you might want to do that will support what you are working with at the moment. And finally, there is coaching, which clue is in the name. I love to coach. The coaching sessions are very rich, very full, and they do include a personal Bach flower blend and an attunement, a personal attunement. So they are amazing value. In some ways, it's more economical to have a coaching session than to do the 2 different essence options. And we will work with whatever you bring to the table. The first session is an hour and a half, so it is best to do a package of 3 if you can, where you have 1.5 and then 1 hour each of 2 follow-up sessions. And more on that below in another video. So finally, during my coaching over the years, I have found that there are certain aspects of people's lives, particularly on the physical level, that do need support if you're working on personal development. And therefore, I've partnered with people that are producing services and products that can be very supportive and that I've used myself and I know are great. And that includes clean, pure, energized water, liquid soil-based probiotics that help to balance the microbiome, earthing mats, and also if I'm often find I'm coaching people who are entrepreneurs or startups, in which case I have also got some great partnerships with certain business coaches who I can recommend. So that's all that's a quick overview of everything I offer at the moment, anyway. And you'll find more, obviously, on my website and in a newsletter that I send out every couple of weeks. I hope that's helpful, and I hope to be in contact with you. Do email if there's anything you want to know. I'm afraid I don't direct message on social media. Otherwise, I just wouldn't get back to everybody and it would get very fragmented. So I hope that's been helpful, and I might speak to you soon. Bye.